Hey everyone, and welcome to the OklaRoots YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going over block 11 for the OklaRoots block party. First of all, Happy New Year. Happy 2021. It's gonna be better. I would say expectations are fairly low, but it's gonna be a good year. I can feel it. It's gonna be a good year. We're gonna make it a good year. This is the second to last block for the OklaRoots block party. That is just crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about. The journey we've been on, wow, it's just too much for me right now. I'm not ready to process it. We'll wait until next month and then we'll get all sentimental. And then let me follow that up with, we will be having some extra videos after the last block to show you how to put it all together. I'm gonna show you how to construct the entire quilt top using sashes. You don't have to use them, but I will be using them in my quilt. We're gonna also add some borders to it. We're going to baste it to some quilt batting and a backing. I'm gonna have a whole video going over backings and what I like to use, how I like to do it, and then I'm also gonna show you how to quilt it and bind it. So don't worry, I'm not just gonna leave you with a bunch of blocks you don't know what to do with. We're gonna go through every step, start to finish. So month 11 is a very simple block that looks a little trickier. With this block, I kind of wanted to have this overlapping design. So you can see here on the corners, I wanted it to look like we have a square in the middle that's diamond, so it's rotated. And then we have the triangles all around it. But I wanted these triangles to kind of look like they're overlapping one another without actually having to do any sort of, crazy seams to get that overlapped effect. So there's no partial seams here. This is all full seams, but I'm going to show you how we build this. It's super scrappy, which you know I love. I'm going to give you some color guidelines. If you'd like to use them, go for it. If you want to make every single one of these pieces a different color, do that as well. Creative freedom, as always, is encouraged. So if you're new to the OklaRoots channel, please consider clicking subscribe down below. If at any point you like this video, please give it a like. Any questions, comments, anything at all, leave them down in the comment section. There's not gonna be any timestamps for this video. It's a very quick block. Remember, if you're following along with our quilt block journey, you're gonna make 3 of these this month. Always, if you would like to make more, go for it. You can use them for other projects in bags, which I'll be showing you this year, how to use more quilt blocks in bags. You can use them as pillows. You can use them as accents to tables. You can use quilt blocks for a lot of different things. So my philosophy is, if there's a quilt block I really love making, no matter what the quilt pattern is, I make a few extra because I will find a place to use them somewhere else. All right, I'm gonna show you how I cut out all the pieces and we're gonna stitch it up together real quick and then we're gonna be done. So let's get started. So here's everything you're gonna need for the quilt block today. There are 6 different pattern cuts here. I have the link for that down in the description of this video. Make sure you print it off at 100% using Adobe Acrobat Reader. So this design uses 5 different colors. Like I said, go ahead and mix it up however you'd like. But in today's design, I will be using 5 different colors and the color numbers are marked on all the pattern pieces. I like to use Aurifil 50 weight thread in quilt blocks. I don't use this in bags. I like to use polyester thread in bags, but for quilts, I do like to use cotton thread. And I'll be using a Microtex 7010 needle. A universal 7010 needle is also great for this project. So the first thing we gotta do is figure out how we want the layout to go. To be honest, I did have a design picked out originally, but I forgot what it was. This is kind of a strange assortment of colors with the black and the green and the pink, but you know what? It's scrappy, it'll look cool. So for the center diamond design, I think I want a more relaxed neutral. Now this center design is also gonna be used on the corner edges. So I think that'll be nice. It'll be nice and soft in the middle and it will wrap it up in the corners as well. So surrounding this with these larger triangles, I think I'm going to use kind of the busier green. And then I think for these partial triangles, you know what? I think I'm gonna use the black for that actually. And then for the skinnier sides, I'll use this green, and for the fatter sides, I'll use the black and white stripe. It's crazy, I know, but we're just gonna go with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly attach my pattern pieces to the blocks I'm gonna be using it for. So this light color and the corners are my color 1. And then I said these bigger green ones are going to be my color 5. And then these partial triangles is going to be my color 4. And then the skinnier borders are going to be my color 3. And then the fatter borders will be my color 2. There we go. So now I just have my pattern pieces attached. Now I can just quickly cut out all these pattern pieces. So I will have the sizes for the square marked on the pattern piece so you don't have to trace it out if you don't want to. Tracing it out is great if you have a very specific print with a fun design and you want to make sure it's centered. Otherwise, just using, I mean, you could do that with a ruler too, honestly. You really don't need to trace it if you don't want to. And as always, the SVG files for all of these pattern pieces are on my website. I'll have a link for them down in the description. So if you have a cutting machine like a Cricut Maker, or I think a Brother Scan and Cut, I think even like the newer Silhouettes can cut fabric, you can just have your machine cut out all these pieces for you. Once you have all of your pieces cut out, I like to give them just a quick press. You should have also starched your fabric, so just spraying it with like some Best Press before you cut out the pieces. It makes it easier to work with and reduces all the stretching since we have a lot of bias edges here. So I'm just gonna quickly run over all of my pieces to get them nice and flat. I'm gonna do them all at once. I know, I'm crazy. Quilters are cringing right now watching me iron these things. It's fine. It's a quilt. Okay, so let's first start with our piece F. And this is going to be a square, but we're going to lay it in the rotated angle, so like a diamond. And then let's grab our 2-piece Ds. Now, one thing you might have noticed when I was cutting this out is that I actually traced it on the back of the fabric. So when it's right side up, it's different from how the template is. That's okay. Get creative with that step. It doesn't really matter. But what you want to do is you want to lay the bottom edge of both piece Ds along parallel sides of your center diamond. Just like that. And they should line up perfectly. So you can see I have my flat edge on the left on the bottom here, and then my flat edge on the right on the top. And then we're going to grab our piece E's. And these triangles are going to overlap the long edge of the diamond and then also the flat edge on that partial triangle, just like that. So you can see once you have this all laid out, this is going to be a rectangle. It's not going to be a square. So you will have longer edges on one side and shorter edges on the opposite sides. So then grab your piece B's, and these are going to go along the longer edges, just like that. And your piece C's will go along the shorter edges. There we go. And it's all about the order of how we sew it together that really provides this overlapping look. Finally, grab your piece A's, and those will end up in the corners in the very end. So we're going to build this block from the inside out. So I'm just going to separate all my pieces for a moment so I can just focus on the inside of my block. And I'm going to move the larger triangles. So first what I'm going to work on are attaching both the D pieces to this center F piece. So grab one of your D pieces and lay it right side down. Again, it should line up perfectly along that edge of your center piece. Grab your pins and then just pin this in place. Now on the opposite edge where this one is, take your other piece D and lay it right side down. Once again, lining it up perfectly along that edge. There shouldn't be any overhang at all. And then just pin it in place. So now we have two of our edges pinned together. We're going to take this to the sewing machine and sew along both of these pinned edges at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, once you have those sewn on, we're just going to press them while they're right sides together first. Let's turn off the steam. We don't need any steam. And then I'm just going to press them open with the seam behind the partial triangles. Be very gentle while you're doing this. You don't want to stretch your fabric, create any wonky shapes here. Make sure you do this on both sides. And then you can just flip the unit over and press it from behind. Okay, so now we're going to take our center unit and put it back into our little arranged blocks here. And then we're going to grab our E units and we're going to line those up along the long straight edges. So this is going to go over that partial triangle and also the remaining edge of our center diamond. Lay them right sides together and then use some pins to pin them together. Grab your remaining E unit and then lay it against the opposite edge of your diamond. Once again, it should be overlapping the square and also the partial triangle here on the bottom or on the top, depending on how you cut out your pieces. There we go. So now we're going to take this to the sewing machine and sew along these two pinned edges at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once those are sewn on, let's just press those seams. And I'm once again going to press these seams behind the triangles, just because it's easiest, honestly. And make sure you press the other one as well. And then I'll press the back side just to help keep it flat. So here we go. Now we have our little rectangle. Now we just have to add the borders and the corners. So grab your piece B's, which are those kind of fatter borders, and these need to go along the longer edges. So you should see if you try to put it on the shorter edge, it's way too long. On the longer edges, it should fit pretty perfectly. So let's just line this up, right sides together, and then pin in place. Grab your other piece B and do the same thing. Line it up with the opposite long edge, and then just pin them right sides together. And now let's take this to the sewing machine and sew along these pinned edges at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we can just press these, and I will once again press the seams behind the pieces that were just attached. Again, be very gentle here. This is looking really cool. So once we have those attached, we're going to take our C units and we're going to attach them to the remaining edge over here. And these should go over those inner triangles and also the short edges on our B units. It should overlap a lot. So that's kind of the point of this block, is that it all kind of weaves together. Grab your pins and pin these units right sides together. Go ahead and attach the remaining C unit to the bottom here. And if it doesn't quite reach, that's okay. That means for me, my seam allowance is a little small. Now let's take this to the sewing machine and sew along the two pinned edges at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, let's go ahead and press these units. Once again, the seam is going to be behind the newly attached units. And then press it on the back as well. Okay, now all we have to do is attach the triangles. So grab your triangles and lay them right sides down. They should cover these partial edges pretty well. If they're a little longer, that means your seam allowance was on the bigger side. If they're a little shorter, then your seam allowance was on the smaller side. But we're just going to attach them to all four corners and pin in place right sides together. Okay, now we can take this to the sewing machine and just sew along these four corners at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, and those are your final stitches. Once those are sewn on, we're just going to press those seams, and I'm going to press the seam behind each of the attached triangles. Again, be gentle here. All right, I'm going to flip it over so that the wrong side is up. And then I'm going to grab my starch, which is this best press, and I'm just going to very lightly spray a few sprays on the back, kind of like a mist. And then I'm just going to press the back by raising and lowering my iron. I'm not moving it around because I'm trying to get this as flat and firm as possible. And now just to clean it up, I'm going to grab my 10.5 inch by 10.5 inch ruler and lay it over my design just to trim it down. You can see my seam allowance was a little small, so it's bigger than it needs to be. Honestly, I use this ruler for a lot of other projects, even in bag making. So if you're interested in one of these rulers, I do suggest getting one. They're very handy to have when you need a bigger square piece. But I also have a template for you to print off and construct your own 10.5 inch by 10.5 inch template if you'd like to do that. So I'm just going to hold it down and trim around the edges. All right, there we go. There's block 11. Like I said, this block is very easy. It doesn't look very easy, and it's super chaotic. Like, there's a lot of pieces to it. They all kind of intertwine around one another. I think a really muted version of this block would be nice too. I think in my next block, my third block, I'm probably going to do like light pastels and a light gray, just kind of more of a muted look to this. But if you want to go bold, go bold. So you can see in this block, And in the previous one, I went very bold. This is a great color blocking block as well. So if you have a lot of very bright solids and you want to make a really cool color block, geometric, block, that would be cool. So I hope that you like this month's block. I can't wait to see your versions. Make sure if you post it on social media, use the hashtag OklaRoots Block Party. I cannot believe we only have one more to go. It's sad. Don't forget that I will be working with Cotton Cuts for their 2021 Sew Along. I will have a link for all of the information for that down in the description of this video. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. Get out there and make something. Bye.